Hi, it's Angela Marie. I want to take you through basically your hip circles and your rib cage circles and isolating those to get the best abs that you can, because you really don't have to lay on the floor and do crunches. You can just stand and do your circles. But they're very difficult when people are first doing them. But even if you've been doing them for a long time, you probably aren't focusing on those specific muscles and technique to really gain the best strength from it and to really isolate and shape those abs. So let's look at it. I like to tell people when they're first thinking about it to put their hands together like you're praying and elbows out. So we're just going to isolate that rib cage. And what I'm talking about is right where your bra line is. So push those hands together, elbows are out, and you're just going to take that side to side. All right? Pushing through that rib cage. And you should feel just in those couple that those abs have kicked in. All right? So everything lower body is still. You're just pushing through that bra line. All right? And it's as if you're taking your hands, and that's what's happening when you're pushing. It looks like your hands are going from boob to boob, but it is really your boob that is going from side to side, okay? So right through that rib cage. And then take it and pop the chest. So now you're gonna pop the chest and round, pop, round. So from the side, if I pop my chest, like you're showing off your boobs, and then you're gonna round the back. So you're really, really rounding that upper back. Pop, chest. And what you're doing is you're pushing through right again where that bra line is, where the sternum is, you're pushing that sternum forward. So string attached to your rib cage here that's pulling, pulling, pulling. And you should feel right around there. So if you put those two together, all right, and again, you can rest with the arms here. You're gonna start with that side to side, and then you're gonna take the chest forward. So you push it to the side, then you pop and round. So it's as if you're taking your boobs and lifting them up and over something, up and over. And you should feel that isolate all the way through. It's right around that bra line, those upper abs right here. So, although I don't like to, I'm gonna lift my shirt to show you those muscles. And that's what I want you to do when you're at home. Look in the mirror so you can really see. The other thing is you can put your hands right there, and that will help remind you right where you want to work. All right, so I'm going to put my hands here. Again, we're trying to isolate that upper rib cage. So that side to side, lower body still, and pushing the elbows out. And then you're taking that chest and popping it forward. Pop, round, pop, round. And when you put those two together, you're isolating just the upper abs. Relax the shoulders. You shouldn't be moving the shoulders. It should all be right here. So if you're not feeling it, it's because you're probably doing this with your shoulders, okay, if you're not feeling that. But if you're working the abs, you're gonna feel it right away. So your challenge is to do those circles. Try for a minute, maybe try for 30 seconds straight first, one way, and then 30 seconds the other. Then push to a minute, all right? Something like that where you can keep adding on. But if you stand, and you can do these anywhere. Sometimes I do them in the car when I'm at the red light, okay? People look at me like I'm crazy. One way and then the other, okay? Now, if you move down to the lower abs, and I feel that already, they're burning up. So if you move down to the lower abs, same kind of thing. Think about just first lifting each hip. So hip, 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 hip. So I'm crunching each side, lift, lift, all right? So it's not just that I'm throwing my hip side to side. I'm really crunching that waist to lift the hip up, lift it up. Then I go with that tuck and tilt. So again, from the side, I'm taking that tuck and tilt. So very strong through here, pulling the belly button in, lift and tuck, okay? So when I put those together, all right, I have that hip, hip, and then the tuck and the tilt. And when I put it together, I'm gonna lift the hip up and circle it the other way. So that it's very isolated, very, very isolated. And you should feel it right away. So you're working through that hip circle the whole way around, okay? It shouldn't just be, you know, that we're circling. A lot of legs get in there when you do that, but if you want to isolate, you can do both obviously, but if you want to just isolate the abs, do those standing abs, then you're going to really hollow it out. Make sure that you have It should feel like you have a corset on, okay? So you're wrapped tight here, muscles are pulled in as you circle. So like you're drawing a big circle on the floor with those hips. See if you can go a little bigger, all the way, and then of course the other way, and the same thing. Do that for, start out maybe 30 seconds, and then moving up to 45 seconds, maybe a minute or longer, and make sure you're doing both sides. The other challenge you can do is to basically doing like a figure 8. So you're gonna swivel one way and then swivel back the other way. Again, abs are tight the whole way through. And when you smooth that out, it's like you're paintbrushing the walls. Okay. Never know what to do with my arms, but whatever, you can, as you're a belly dancer, you probably have all that fancy stuff, but I'm not. So anyway, right up here, isolate, isolate, you're hollowing it out, and then when you add the lower abs into it, now you have that full circle, so you're working both the top and bottom, as if you're doing a hula hoop, okay? That's why hula hooping is so great for the core. And if you don't have one, maybe you want to get one and try it again, if you haven't done it since you were a kid. But circle, circle, good and strong. You're using those muscles all the way, then go the other way. Now, I want you to feel it, so if you're not feeling it and you're like, I don't know what's going on, I don't feel anything in my abs, then you're not doing it right, okay? So cinch the waist like you have a corset, you're hollowing everything out, tighten, tighten, and then again, isolate. Start with a tiny, tiny movement, and then you can make that bigger as you get comfortable with it, all right? So I'm gonna do this with you. We're gonna go for 30 seconds. Let's do just the upper abs, okay? So just up here around that bra line. Looking at my clock, waiting for it. Cinch, cinch. Here we go, all right? So you can go whatever way you want, but it's just the upper abs there. So relax the shoulders, just keep circling. It's burning already, okay? If it's not, you need to tighten up a little bit more. Again, you're pushing just through the bra line. Imagine you're inside of a tube and you need to touch your chest all the way around. Let's switch and go the other direction, okay? That's about halfway. And we just made it to 30 seconds, so let's just keep going. Almost there to 45 seconds. Go the other way. We'll finish up the last 15 seconds here. Here it is. Counting down. Is it burning? And we made it. How'd you do? All right, let's do the same thing with the lower abs. You should feel that, tighten up, all right? Then you'll be wanting to lift your shirt up, all right? Although I still get uncomfortable doing this, but that's why this is just for you guys. All right, so abs nice and tight, again, lower abs, starting with just the hip, feeling that motion out again, and then that tuck and tilt. So again, really strong through your core. Let's put those two together. Here we go for our, we'll try 30 seconds first and then we'll get into our minute. All right, so we're circling, hollowing everything out. All the muscles are tight, you have a corset on. It's cinching that waist. You're rolling through. Abs are tight, tight, tight. I'm gonna swivel to the side so that hopefully you can see that motion a little bit. Here's your 30 seconds. Let's go the other way. Nice and strong, feel it. Where are we now? We have about 20 seconds. So you can relax those arms down if you want, or on the hip, but it's strong, strong all the way. Almost to a minute. 5 more seconds. And you're there. All right. So isolate those abs. You can do those anywhere throughout the day. All you need is a minute, really. And again, I do them in the car. Sometimes I'm driving at a red light. I'll isolate. Again, you're cinching that waist. And it tightens everything up. You should feel it up from the bra line all the way down. So zip it up tight. Work on those circles.